Greetings and welcome to Bobzee Hour 18. If anyone's caught sight of the thumbnail tonight and is under the impression that I'm going to be giving you advice on how you can help spot like fine art forgeries, that's not quite what we're doing tonight. We are certainly looking at fakes, but fine art, not exactly. However, the same rules may apply to spotting a fake Picasso, to spotting a fake video on Instagram, Twitter, wherever. It may all apply. As always, I'd love to hear any thoughts or opinions you've got in the live chat. We will be getting started in literally a minute, so I'll catch you in a second. Okay, what are we looking at this evening? Well, I was inspired by a video I saw on Twitter, which isn't uncommon for my live streams. So I see something over on Twitter I think doesn't quite look right to me, so I want to call it out as potentially a fake. I'm always interested in others' opinions. I know not everyone who tunes in regularly to my live streams agrees that what we see is always fake. But yeah, we'll have a closer look at that particular video tonight. Of course, there's a massive story. I don't know whether it's an internationally big story or what, or just large here in the United Kingdom and possibly other parts of what is referred to as the Western world, because it includes like the Titanic. But I'll certainly be looking at that this evening. Also going to start by saying hello to Joker Man, who's in the live chat, a faithful, not only supporter of this channel, but regular viewer. Thanks for tuning in. Says he's smoking some St. Bruno's. I'm guessing that's a cigar, but yeah, please enlighten us, Joker Man. Right, tonight's show. Let's have a look at the thumbnail. Yeah, I went with... When you think of fakes, I thought fake paintings is a big one, but of course fakes exist everywhere. It would appear. If the dead internet theory or dead internet idea is anywhere near correct, then it would appear that I think 40% of interactions we have online. This was another faithful viewer of our show, Mudlark, told us I think something like 40% of interactions we have on the internet with what we believe is real people are actually with a bot or artificial intelligence. Yeah, fakeries are getting harder and harder to spot. So hopefully tonight we'll have a look at a few subjects and a few issues where we will be able to perhaps identify them. Oh, it's pipe tobacco. Wow, nice one. Yeah, one thing with pipe tobacco, I've always thought it smells absolutely beautiful. Very rare actually smell anyone smoking it these days. I think once I might have mistakenly bought some, thinking it was rolling tobacco. I can't remember what happened to it now. I doubt very much I smoked it in a pipe, but yeah, great to know someone's still keeping that tradition going. Okay, we'll have a look at our thumbnail then. Good old Mona Lisa. Yeah, but as I've already said, we're not actually technically going to be looking at fine art, although if anyone does know of any potentially fake fine art images, yeah, the video I was going to look at is on Twitter. It's a sort of thing, if you haven't had your tea, if you're in the middle of eating your tea, you might not particularly want to see what we're going to look at this evening. So to begin with, yeah, I'll give you a warning. To begin with, we'll have a look at this story about the missing Titanic sub. Latest updates: debris field found in search area hours after oxygen cut off. To be honest, I've not really looked that closely at any of this stuff going on, but I did see They Live Truth had made a video about it, pointing out how the Titanic, the story of the Titanic, ties in very well with, I think, a book that was published like 30 years earlier. Very similar to the moon landings, also happened to tie in. And also, isn't there a book about someone called Elon colonizing Mars? So yeah, look out for that one in the future, hey. When you think of the Titanic, it's something like 12,000 feet under the ground. No, sorry, under sea level. So the idea that anyone could, go and check for themselves, as it were, isn't the easiest thing to do. So we are very much trusting popular opinion, mainstream reportings, and again, yeah, this all ties in, deep fakes, as it were. We're going to watch an interview in a minute with a young woman. Here's the submarine. Or, sorry, they don't call it a submarine, they call it submergible. Later in this article, yeah, there's a video I want to watch with apparently the family members of one of the people on board. And, yeah, well, but first we'll have a look at this. It mentions, what is an ROV? Now, this isn't what this Titan that went missing is, but the US Coast Guard announced on Thursday that an ROV, or remotely operated vehicle, discovered a debris field. Yeah, so a bit like a drone, but it goes underwater, is an ROV. Near the Titanic wreckage. Yeah, the Titanic. How genuine is that account? Who knows? It made a very good Hollywood film, though. You do have to point that out. ROVs are unoccupied, highly manoeuvrable underwater machines. I wonder if they look anything like that. I wonder if that is anything like a an ROV. It certainly seems to be on some piece of, well, maybe it's a float, something that stays on the top of the water, but yeah, it looks pretty compact, that's for sure. Right, I'm going to bring up very quickly the video I saw of a woman being interviewed. Let me just find it a second. Oh, something about Katy Perry. I've just seen an article. Hang on, before we go too far. I'm not going to get sidetracked. Right, let me find the video I saw. It's a BBC News video. And I will, of course, share links to
we're going to go straight
stuff in the description of tonight's video. Right, I will share my screen so you can see what I'm referring to. Yeah, BBC News, British Bullspit Corporation, as far as I'm concerned. Again, same story. Every single mainstream media outlet seems to be covering this one. Now, fair enough, people have gone missing. What it reminds me of, the reporting of it, is very similar to when I think that football, or a team of young kids went missing in caves, and they were eventually found, of course. We'll watch this video and just see if anything looks a bit off about what we're going to watch. Okay, take it away, BBC News.
Straight to breaking news concerning that search for a submersible, because the latest information coming from the US Coast Guard, just one line, but it is an important line. Let me read it to you. They are reported as saying a debris field was discovered within the search area by one of the rovers near the Titanic.
Rovers, don't they have them on Mars? Whatever. So they found debris on top of the sea. I don't expect you have to go too far out to sea to find a load of driftwood or a load of crap, but would this suggest that this submarine they're looking for, submergible, not an ROV, manned with 5 people in that tiny little capsule? Yeah, I don't want to jump back and forth between web pages too much, but I'm pretty sure if we just skip back to this, the story goes that there are, how many people, where was it? Okay, I'm going to have to look a bit closer. Get the numbers in, of course, 22nd of June. Is that relevant? Who knows? 22nd seems to be popular for these, Right. Are these all the people that were on board? Ocean Gate Expedition founder and CEO, Stockton Rush. British billionaire, Hamish Harding. Yeah, if I remember rightly from that video by They Live Truth. Apparently this guy went up on one of the, commercial space flights, as they like to call it. Hamish Harding. French diver, Paul-Henri Nargollet. And a businessman, making sure all countries are covered on this one, so that every nation has an interest in it. Yeah, they were all on the submersible. Have you seen how tiny it is? Where is it? 5 people all packed into that. I mean, we don't have much to go on how big it is, but based on what we see here, this lamp, who knows? If that, I assume that's some sort of, maybe it's a sensor, I don't know, but it looks like it would be pretty snug, 5 people packed in there. Anyway, we'll go back to the BBC interview.
Experts within the Unified Command are evaluating the information, so a significant line, clearly a holding position as they look to find out what exactly this debris is, but that is a line they've put out, so it is clearly significant.
It's a line, that's basically what he's saying. Yeah, it's all scripted, and this is the latest line that we're releasing to you. We will get onto an interview in a minute with, I believe, the daughter of one of the people on board, see how she appears.
That the US Coast Guards say a debris field has been discovered within the search area by a rover near the Titanic.
Yeah,
experts within the command are evaluating the information.
This guy does seem to like repeating himself, but hey ho, perhaps I repeat myself as well. But then I'm not a professional newsreader. Whatever. I guess this is what happens when every major news outlet in the world, it seems, invest in one line that gets released. Let's let him carry on.
Let me just put some of the latest pictures on the screen in terms of the search area and the sort of hardware that currently we are seeing, because it is a huge search that we've been seeing over the last little while, and we've seen more and more equipment being sent to the area.
This isn't actually what we want to see, so I'll just
international help, and we've seen also the crisscrossing of the group.
Okay, William Chadwick. Let's just check out our numerology calculator. William, 34 and 19. Chadwick, 69 and... Okay, William Chadwick's a 44 name in Chaldean. Chadwick is 25 and 35. Okay, we'll let him carry on. Sorry, William Chadwick is, of course, on the back of this boat here.
It's showing how they're actually searching this huge area of sea. But I also want to put onto the screen just an interview that's just come into us from the BBC. One of the 5 people on board. We know that French diving expert, well, his daughter has been speaking to reporters.
This is the daughter of the diving expert. What was that person's name? I'm sure they'll tell us in a minute, but let's see. The diving expert was Paul-Henri Nargollet or something. Okay, what does her daughter say? Remember, we're spotting any reason to believe that any of this might be fake. Take it away.
In the last little while, so let me put that onto the screen.
So he have lots of experience with submarine. He knows how to react if there is a problem, and so I'm very confident about it.
Okay, I'm not going to draw too much attention to this area here around her chin that Well, look at the ear as well. My goodness. Okay, let's forget all that. We don't even need to look at that strangely out of shape hair. And hang on, am I the only one seeing this? I'm not sure how well it shows up. Let's just give you a bit of a close-up a minute. Yeah, there's... So either she's put a lot of makeup on in this particular area. I'm sure she wouldn't have to cover up any like stubble or anything. Definitely not with a sloping forehead like that. Hey, carry on.
She can manage good.
Did you see that? Micro expressions, of course. Let's just go back and see if we can catch that micro expression. This is Sydney, that's not a very feminine name, but whatever. Nargelet. Her dad has been missing. They've just found wreckage in the area. You know, you would think she'd be pretty distraught.
And so I'm very confident
Here it comes. Look at that face. What's she about to break into?
about it,
Hang on, here we go.
that she can
She's resisting, doing her best to keep the duping delight under, you know, down. There we go. It just crept in there, but we'll see if there's another example of that tonight.
manage good the situation, and
Look at the air.
is really passionate about the Titanic since they found it more than 30 years ago. And I know now he's at the place he would like to be.
He is lost at sea. He's at a place he'd like to be. No worries, hey? You take it easy, Sydney. You know, I'm all for being positive, but this person is taking it a bit too far, and you keep seeing that smile.
The Titanic since they found it more than 30 years ago. And I know now he's at the place he would like to be. Just I really hope they will find them all safe.
Big smile. Look at that. Dad's missing. Who cares? He's in safe hands. He's in the place he wants to be. Yeah, basically getting lots of attention on mainstream media for something that probably is a load of fakes. One way of spotting it.
I think we have to trust what they're doing and to be
She thinks you just have to keep smiling all the way through. I wonder what she'd be like. Nope. God forbid the news comes through that they were unsuccessful in recovering or whatever. I would be interested to see how big that smile is on that day.
confident.
Come on, big smiles. They had to cut there because she probably burst into hysterics. Hang on. Just watch as they cut off.
What they're doing and to be confident.
I think she's literally trying to stop herself from laughing. So, yeah. Yeah, when what you're dealing with isn't, you know, strictly a painting, for example, you can tell if it's a forgery. When you're using something more abstract, like a person giving an interview. Right, I'm going to have a look at the live chat. Well, we've only got Joker Man so far. And Joker Man says, could it not send an emergency signal? You would think these pieces of equipment would have that sort of... You would hope they'd have that ability. Although in one of those articles, I believe they said something about they heard weird banging noises. Maybe it was this one. Right, this interview's got another like minute and a half perhaps, so we'll just let it play out.
Well, just one of the families, as I'm sure is the case for all of the families, just clinging on to the hope.
Clinging on to the hope. She was in great spirits. She could not have been happier. Notice, I know his hand is covered by the text on the bottom of the screen, but just notice the hand gestures he made at that point.
And the families, as I'm sure is the case for all of the families, just clinging on to the hope, as we heard earlier from the US Coast Guard, saying that still they were searching for the crew, assuming they were alive. Of course, all those calculations being made about the hours of oxygen and the hopes that that could be elongated, but just that later.
How do you elongate your oxygen supplies? I guess you just hold your breath, eh? So that, for me, that is one thing I would look at with this. Okay, yeah, I mean, one of my main rules is to say what gets, you know, over-the-top mainstream media attention. Automatically, for me, that rings alarm bells. It's like, well, why are they making such a big deal about one particular story? Why is this absolutely dominating the news? Has it been a slow news day or something? Got nothing else to talk about? And I'm guessing, look, if I open a new tab, I'm guessing Nicola Bulley's still in the news, by the way. TikTok ghoul suing Lancashire police after being arrested for stalking residents in the village. Good job I didn't do that. Not that I would have done that. Reaction to Philip Schofield points to homophobia. We're not going to go too off the... There we go, straight away. Titanic billionaire's stepson defends bizarre move. The reason they keep referencing Titanic is, I believe, because they want, you know, yeah, it's a well-known thing. They just want to remind everyone about the Titanic. Keep one of their fake stories in everyone's mind. By the way, yeah, just quickly jumping on that story about Philip Schofield, it would appear, if anyone has a problem with a inappropriate relationship with, you know, a much younger person, you're being homophobic. Wow, what a dangerous place that one's going. Yeah, we'll have one more quick look at this story, then we will be moving on to another one. By the way, great publicity for open gate expeditions. You may say, well, who would want to use their equipment after this happens? You'd be surprised. By the way, one of the developers of Titan, which is the submersible, not submarine, just a submersible, always telling CNN everything. CNN, Vernig, isn't that an anagram? I don't know if that's relevant, but yeah, apparently the whole thing was being controlled with a $29.99 controller that you can buy at any sort of computer game shop. But it's all to save funds, of course. Jokerman says, someone told me something big about Hunter Biden is happening. Yeah, I've not heard anything particularly about Hunter Biden. I do keep hearing, though, that, you know, massive stars are being arrested, and I'm always a bit suspicious about it. I do think, in a lot of cases, this is where the doubles come in, but we could certainly have a glance at Hunter Biden before we leave tonight. And Jokerman, yeah, says nonces for nonces. I'm sure that's completely unrelated to anything. I'm curious now. I want to know. I kind of want to know what that story was about, but... Oh, that guy. Hang on. Who's he? Doesn't that look very similar to David Furnish, the partner? I mean, maybe it is. I'm not sure who this is. We'll have a look. Oh, David Furnish it is, yeah. What a surprise that he's defending Philip Schofield.
And agrees behaved inappropriately. And
he agrees he behaved inappropriately, so nothing to do with homophobia then. Schofield reaction points to homophobia. His reaction... Okay. Yeah. Are things going in that direction?
It could be perceived as an abuse of power, and it was also, he lied about it. So yeah. He behaved inappropriately. I think what was horrifying to watch was what I would call a disproportionate response within certain levels of the media, where it was written about over and over and over.
Hang on, these people thrive on the media covering them. I do think Philip will be back on TV soon. This will all be forgotten about. He'll probably have his job back on on whatever program it was he used to host. We'll see how that pans out. And yeah, we haven't seen the last of Philip, but that guy's absolutely right, David Furnish. By the way, some people suggest
where they were piling on.
David has a stark similarity to Princess Diana. Make of that what you will.
He did an interview. He acknowledged he'd made mistakes. He wants to go forward with his life.
So
this barrage of negative media going on and on. Certain parts of the media. And I would also
they
like
suggest
to add
it's homophobic.
those same publications.
What do you reckon? Do you see Princess Diana there? I don't know. But whoever, originally made that observation, he's certainly got some unusually small features, we will say that. But we're not going to get too stuck into seeing double, as it were. Okay, deep fakes. Pictures on Twitter. Greetings to Susan. Lovely to have you in the live chat tonight. Joker Man mentions the sub being a distraction from whatever's going on with Hunter. By all means, we'll have a look at what's being reported about that.
The same level of attention to a Prime Minister who lied and misled to Parliament.
I mean, this is wheeling out their big guns when they get David Furnish to give an interview. Hunter Biden. Nope, don't want to know about his net worth. Okay, he's got a plea deal. Our Republican... To be honest, I've not heard anything about this. I don't follow mainstream media. I have no idea why he's in court. Oh, is it to do with a hit and run or something? Or am I... Yeah, breaking news. Don't read that story. Read this one. All passengers believed lost. Well, yeah, they are all lost. Surely you've lost the submersible, so all passengers are lost until found. Or are they saying that none of them, there's no hope for them being returned? Okay, tax and gun investigation. Okay. I do often wonder, though, whenever you get stories about people close to, like, the president, for example, I do wonder if it's just a kind of way of convincing people, oh, no one's above the law. Of course, these people are really being investigated. But he's got a plea deal. Okay. Now, if there is more going on with that story, then I would... But it's kind of got me... It's worked. Their breaking news banner has worked, and it makes me want to click on it just to see if they've now announced all passengers. Like, no hope of finding them. Let's see. 18 minutes ago, it was all lives lost in catastrophic implosion. Interesting. Any proof of this? All passengers are believed to have been lost after a desperate days-long search for a submersible carrying 5 people. I wonder how long it will take the daughter of the diving expert to give in another interview. She was more than happy to talk, big smiles on her face, talking about how her father is where he wants to be. Nothing weird about that. Susan says he's a she and she's a he. I don't think... Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, the amount of breathable air was forecast to run out on Thursday morning, according to the Coast Guard. Newfoundland. And there they've shown us just where the Titanic wreck is. Do you think it's really down there? Do you think anything did ever actually go down, as we were told? I'm kind of going to say no, but who knows? Debris consistent Okay, they've only found debris consistent with a catastrophic loss of the pressure chamber. Okay. So the passenger families were immediately notified, and 5 major pieces of debris were found, including the nose cone, officials said. Nose cone? I didn't see much of a nose cone on here. Oh, unless... Okay. This must be the front of it here, on the right of the picture, and that must be the back of it. Yep, that would make sense if they've got some sort of light in front of them. Okay, so that's that story done. Will Sydney regret the big smiles on her face?
And so I'm very
We don't need to hear what she said. We just need to witness 1, the very strange ear, whatever. 2, the very square jaw. 3, the big smiles all round. Big laughs as she talks about her missing father. I mean, I expect anyone linked to these people probably are queuing up to give interviews. Well, with 37 minutes, well, not quite 37 minutes. Hang on. Let's see how long. And we've barely got on to the... Okay, we're halfway through. And we're still talking about the Titan submersive, which is gone. Maybe we will return to that at the end. Okay, Right, I'm going to bring up a video I saw on Twitter. Now, if you're eating your tea, or you're eating or whatever, or you've got a weak stomach, this video is quite nasty. It looks quite horrible. What's going on though? Is it a deep fake? I mean, it looks bloody weird.
What the hell? What is that, Mom?
This is, I think it's an 11-second video caught of what on the surface looks like a very strange creature. Is everything as it seems? How could you possibly tell whether this is, you know, they say deep fake has got so good now it's almost impossible to tell. Now this could be a real creature. It sort of looks almost like a hippo to me, but if you read down in the comments, people are saying it's a giant species, it's a species of giant snail. Yeah, lots of people have... Okay. Oh, there's someone, by the way, pointing out the similarities between an episode of The Simpsons and what's gone on, you know, in the news today. I haven't... Right, where's that video? And the comments on it. I want to find out... Yeah, 18.2 million times this video's been, or this tweet's been seen since 7:38 a.m. yesterday. Yeah, we're going to have a look at some of those things. There's another Twitter video, which I'm just going to hide my screen for 1 second while I bring it up. Bear with us. Oh. Right, where was it? Actually, I would probably have to go through all my liked tweets, so I might as well just keep the display up and you can see what tweets I've liked. We'll get there one day. Another one. Oh, hang on. I don't want to lose that video. Because, yeah, we're going to have a look at it in a minute and we're going to say, is it indeed CGI? Like so many people have as I'm suggesting, or is it? I'm pretty sure a few people suggest names for what this is. A type of sea slug. Now maybe sea slugs exist, I don't know. I wouldn't be too surprised. Doesn't necessarily mean that this video is real. Okay, where was the other one I wanted to watch? If we go on to my likes, I'm pretty sure eventually... Did I like it? No, I commented on it. So if I go to my replies, and we go back here's another one, another deep fake. Again, how can you tell if something is indeed fake? Oh no, that's not what we were after. Maybe it was. You know, an 8-month woman runs an 8-minute mile. Anything weird about that? 100%. But when you're not able to sort of look that closely, well, you are actually, you do get to see the belly button towards the end. You do see just how plasticky it looks. Yeah, in my opinion, blatantly a fake, but that wasn't actually the video I wanted. It was one that turns up in a lot of... Hang on. We'll get there. I don't comment that much on Twitter. By the way, that is a picture I took of one slow worm with another one's head in its mouth. Deep fake? Well, yeah, definitely. I invite people to have a look. Goodness me, where are we? I'm sure I haven't missed it. It's a video I did cover in another... I think one of the early ones. Again, pictures of celebrities and their children. Just look for things like shins that bend halfway up the leg. How does that work? Okay, where are we? We are getting there. Yeah, it's the video of the kid slapping the mannequin, or a lot of people took it as a... Oh my goodness. And this one, again, another video. Someone aggressively beating up all his soldiers. Get to the end, you see they're all just laughing. Big smiles on everyone's faces. Never quite as bad as they would have you believe. But the one I particularly want to see came from... Goodness me, I do more on Twitter than I realise. Oh, there's me 2 little kitties. Hang on. We're getting there. Yeah, by the way, links to Twitter, of course, are in... My Twitter account are in the description of tonight's video. Okay, we must be getting there. Yeah, here we are. This video by David Vance. Now, if I were to... Sorry. Tweeted by David Vance. It was like 8 years ago. I believe if I play this video all the way through, there is a chance that this video will be restricted for violent for showing violent footage. How can you tell this is a fake? Looks pretty real. I'm not going to play it after that because I don't want people to be forced to watch this video signed in. How can you tell this is fake? I mean, for one thing, just look at the convenient placement of all the people around the shot, all wearing red, making sure no one gets too close. The big thing is this woman here, though. She's literally completely still throughout the whole thing. I'll play it in... See, it still hasn't moved. She's supposedly having an argument with this kid. He ends up whacking her. And I do agree, it looks real. Like the way the body goes backwards. It does look real. But you just have to see. They don't move. Does not move at all. And that's just one of the giveaways. Going back to this one, how can you tell this is fake?
What is happening?
As far as I'm concerned, anything moving in water will cause water to ripple. It's very difficult for any insect. I mean, if you ever see fish, in a river, you just suddenly see water rippling on top. And that's because, fish are coming up from underneath. Notice this thing does not cause a single ripple in the water. I guess if it's a certain consistency, maybe it could do that. Also, I'm not sure how well you can tell on this picture, it does keep flicking. The image keeps flickering, which would suggest cut points. Yeah, it did it very slightly then. I will put a link to this video in the description of tonight's video. You can inspect it in your own time and see whether you agree it's fake. Or maybe you think it's real. On that note, though, I will say, I'll leave my comment. I do like to leave comments on some of these things. Looks CGI to me. The creature may exist, but the movement of the water is not consistent, which I misspelt, of course. Consistent with the movement. Nice try, I'll say. Okay. Yeah, other things. What other things do I call out as fake? Oh, personally, I don't call... there's a lot of things that get called out for us. Meghan, she's always in the news. Where was that story? Meghan Markle is accused of faking interviews with stars in Axed Spotify podcast. These people are constantly being accused of faking things. It's crazy, actually. My belief on it, royal families from start to finish, all the stuff that gets reported about Harry, about Kate, about William, about Charles, all of them is going to be pretty much it's an approved version we hear. And yet again, this is just good publicity for this podcast. It only did 12 episodes. Yeah, she's been accused of faking interviews. Does that mean they brought actors in to... Okay, ran for 12 episodes. By the way, this Bobzee Hours ran for 18. I've done 18 of these in a row as far as I know. I don't think I've missed any. 18 Thursdays after the other, I've done an hour. Right, it saw Meghan chatting to celebrities, so she faked celebrities, historians and experts about the history of stereotypes levelled against women. Yeah, what a surprise, Meghan. Really someone that should be on the subject of women? Susan says there are sea slugs, but never seen one like that. To be honest, I've never seen one full stop. But yeah, Slugly, absolutely Joker man. You got that right. Right, without referencing specific episodes, well, that's not very good, or sections of the Archetype podcast, the outlet reported some interviews on the show were done by other staffers, with a 41-year-old Meghan's questions edited in afterwards. What a surprise. Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly how they did it. I'm sure that's how a lot of interviews are done. Why didn't know... Well, okay. While Meghan's podcast featured many high-profile guests, including Mindy Kaling, never heard of them, Serena Williams, yeah, levelled against women, good one, and Mariah Carey, this is not the first time that questions have been raised regarding Meghan's own input into the audio show. The actor just came in, said what they were supposed to say, and whoever's responsible for putting the episodes together, £20 million deal with Spotify had come to an end. So they had the rights to use Meghan's images. They obviously bought her image rights, vitally important. And from that, they made a podcast. Yeah, no doubt they faked it. Let's watch this bit of publicity for the podcast. I certainly would never listen to it, but...
People should expect the real me in this, and probably the me that they've never gotten to know. Certainly not in the past few years, where everything is through the lens of the media.
Why is she talking about herself? I thought she was here to talk about stereotypes levelled against women. All she's doing is just talking about herself. Whatever. Let's keep going. It's only like 19 seconds long.
as opposed to, hey, it's me. I'm just excited to be myself and talk and be unfiltered.
Be yourself. In my opinion, no such thing. Look at that ear. Look at that weird ear. Okay.
Self and talk and be unfiltered, and yeah, it's fun.
She might like my live streams. I like to think that I'm just being myself and being unfiltered. Probably not half as popular as Megan's podcast, but I can live with that. Well, it would appear that Susan and Jokerman are the only people watching. Well, thank you ever so much for tuning in. We're not going anywhere just yet. We've got about another 10 minutes. I've got a few more sips of my drink that'll keep me going. Right, other blatant fakes. Let's see. What other news stories? Does anything exist other than... Yeah, other than what's going on in the submarine? Baby escapes from crib. What do you think? Is this more CGI? I've never seen this footage before. One thing I will point out is they couldn't get the speed right. They've obviously sped this up. Oh, look at that. White rabbit. I have just in the bottom part of the screen. I'm circling my mouse over it now. There is a white rabbit. And on the screen here, I have pointed out in the past that white rabbits do seem to get put into a lot of news stories. Maybe it's just coincidence. Right, if you had... Okay, this is nothing. But I'm going to guess this is probably more of the same, more CGI. It's what they call it, stopgap animation. Why couldn't they just show it normally? Yeah, terrible image quality as always. And a video from 2021 is getting reported by SWNS rule, whatever that means. Who knows? Posted yesterday. Right. Oh, is that... Here we see the submarine, by the way, getting sent down. So, wonder if anything in this video looks a bit suspicious. We'll give it a watch. Right. Okay. And there we go. We don't see it go underwater or anything interesting. We don't see it submerge. They keep going on about how it's a submergible. That could easily be done in a swimming pool. Do you see his ears, by the way? Do we want to listen to the coast? Look at that air. Come on. Come on, let's get real now. Look at that. Another one to add to the scrapbook. Coincidence that it just so happens his ear looks like it's made of plasticine? I don't know. You'll have to be the judge of that for yourself. Do you want to hear what he's actually saying? Oh, right. Hang on.
It had 5 persons on board the submarine.
Okay, he's just... notice they got the pentagrams in, upside down pentagrams, of course.
The location of the search is approximately 900 miles east of Cape Cod in a water depth of roughly 13,000 feet.
Okay, yeah, no, he's not telling us anything we don't already know. Who's this being interviewed?
Deep submersible diving is very dangerous, but it is it's high tech, you know, and as each year goes by.
An expert on Titanic. Well, who cares? Who cares? Right. Oh, we've got some music there. Let me mute that a minute. Okay, so this is... Yeah, I'm surprised they don't show it actually going under the water, but maybe that would be too exciting for us. Instead, we get to see what could very easily have been done in a swimming pool or in a theatre. So, spotting fakes. How do you spot a deep fake? With, my goodness, what on earth is that? A comedian with dwarfism. No disrespect to anyone with dwarfism. I'm not even going to ask if that's CGI. I'm not interested. That probably is, but let's not get too carried away. Yeah, as the world, as CGI, artificial intelligence gets better and better, it does get harder to spot, to tell the difference between, what is real and what isn't. It does, I believe, come to a point where you've actually got to use discernment. You've got to kind of you've got to look beyond, well, how good is the evidence? How realistic does it look, what we're being presented? If you caught our Sunday live stream, I talked about, if I could give you a flawless video of a fire-breathing cat, would you believe I've got one? Maybe. Well, what if you then saw 10 other videos that I'd previously put out, which could clearly be shown that I'm faking these videos? I clearly use CGI or some other way of faking it. Would that then discredit anything else I ever say? So yeah, it's worth looking at where the information's coming from. Yeah, just things that don't seem to sit, don't ring true. Things you wouldn't expect to see. For example, the daughter of someone who's lost at sea, interviewed on TV with a big smile on their face, laughing, joking, seems really happy about it. It doesn't ring true. Other situations of maybe news stories about people that had died. Let's say, I don't know, something had happened in a place like... Hang on. I'll find one more thing. Nottingham Vigil. I don't know if that story's now gone from everyone's mind. Let's look at the family members of someone who had passed away, like, just a short while before, and ask, is this really what you'd expect from the parents of...
Individual who have shattered so many lives will not define us. And I know he will receive the retribution that he deserves.
I think she
However,
stops laughing.
This evil person is just that. He is just a person. Please hold no hate that relates to any colour, sex, or religion.
Okay, I believe in this interview.
Have mine, your dad, and your brother's heart forever.
She wanted to be a doctor.
I mean, even the reality of a parent giving an interview, going up on stage and talking so easily, just not having a problem speaking about the departure of, the untimely death of their loved one. Who's the other one? We can't leave it without looking at Martin Hett's mother. Here we go. This was literally a day or two after losing their family member.
We're upset because of him passing away, but...
We're upset about him passing away, but no, there's no room for buts. You've just lost your son. It may have been his stepson. Yeah, he was the stepfather. Although actually, if you look at... Apparently he had two sets of parents, this Martin Hett. If you're not familiar with the name, look him up. He had a very popular YouTube channel, got a lot of publicity on mainstream media because he liked Deirdre Barlow. I think he got a Deirdre Barlow tattoo or something like that. Martin Hett. And this was the interview that his stepdad gave, like, within a couple of days of him dying. Crazy stuff.
Him passing away, but
yeah,
we are all agreed that this is just so Martin.
Just what he does. Goes out and gets himself killed. Typical.
This is
Yeah.
just, this
Yeah.
is sort of like sort of thing he does.
Yeah.
You know, how absurd, how bizarre is such a statement to be made about. If you want to watch this, yeah, just search Martin Hett's parents. And it was an interview from the 26th of May, which was 4 days, 26th of May 2017, 4 days after Martin Hett lost his life, and they're on TV, they're talking to, you know, mainstream media without a care in the world. Okay, I think this is roughly where we are going to leave tonight's episode. Yeah, we've got 6 of these Bobzee hours left, and then I'm not sure what's happening. I may do another episode, another series of them. I don't know. There is a possible another way that things are going to go. Let me see if I can find it a minute before we do go, and before I say my thanks. Let's see if I can... Hang on. Something where I may start... Oh, hang on. Yeah, where I may start putting more... I haven't put any content up on there yet, but I do have another YouTube channel, and Bobby's Edits. So look at content production and editing, offering how-tos, what fors and why nots. Hints, tips and questions regarding setting up your own YouTube channel. That's more or less what it's going to be about. After the final 6 Bobzee hours, in which time we'll have 24, and then we'll have a Bobzee day, I may start focusing more on that, because the way my channel's going at the minute, to be honest, I'll soon be lucky to get, you know, the view numbers will be lucky if they get into double figures soon. Maybe I've said all I need to say on this matter, and there's not much else I can say anymore. But I do massively appreciate everyone who takes the time to tune into this show, of course. And I want to say a particular thanks to Linda Mack and Joker Man, who's in the chat tonight, for supporting me over on Patreon. Also, big thanks to Skeptic936, Nathan Oakley, Sunstar Thunder Lightning, otherwise known as Random Games, and Chris Brown for also supporting me and my work. If anyone wants to do likewise, show their appreciation, there are some links in the description of tonight's video. Another very easy way you can show your appreciation for tonight's video is just by hitting the thumbs up before you leave. Yeah, with that, I think we're gonna pretty much call it a day. When are we back? Let's have a look. Where's our schedule? Okay, the next one is due to be Sunday, 10 p.m. Of course, the Sabbath day is upon us, sundown tomorrow. I may be back with a video before then. See how it goes. Something might be happening tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure. By all means, keep an eye out, okay? Okay, so it won't take me long to thank Joker Man. Oh, lovely, Tone Dial turned up in the live chat. Thank you ever so much for tuning in tonight. Joker Man, Tone Dial and Susan, thanks for populating the live chat this evening. I hope you can make it on Sunday. Tone Dial says Elon Musk tweeted that the Titanic sub-story is a psyop. Interesting. Do you know what? I was for a long time getting notifications every time Elon put out a tweet, but they don't seem to be sending me them anymore. Let's see. Elon Musk. Subscribe to Elon Musk. £3.96 a month. What? Do I now have to pay in order to... Oh no. Here we go. Yeah, that would be interesting if that particular tweet had come from Musk, because you know, considering how many psyops he's actually been involved in. You know, I'm looking at his page now, and all I can see is things about liftoff and yeah, I'll have a look at the more recent ones, but I don't doubt it is the sort of thing he probably would say in some of his tweets. But yeah, I'm not seeing it on any of the recent ones. Perhaps they deleted it quick, sharpish, who knows. Yeah, the last, unless he put it in one of his retweets. I will very quickly actually show my screen just before we leave. We'll have a look at Elon Musk's official Twitter page. Yeah, the last one he put from 2 hours ago about schools in Rwanda connecting to Starlink's high-speed internet. So Satelloons balloons given internet perhaps, or maybe they're coming from ground-based cell towers. Yeah, it would be interesting if Elon Musk left a tweet saying Titan was a psyop, because so many of his are. But yeah, it now seems that if you're a subscriber, you can get to see more tweets. Not a chance. 7 subscriber-only tweets. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Twitter, in my opinion, I don't know. It's alright. I've found a lot of content on there, so I'm not going to complain. Okay, we are going to start to wind things down a bit. If there was anything we looked at which you think we should have looked closer at, we will be back Sunday evening, 10 PM. And yeah, we can always follow it up. I do stream for a lot longer on Sunday. And Susan says, yeah, regarding Elon, it takes one to know one. You're absolutely right. Elon, king of the psyop. Well, he's certainly the public face of psyops. Yeah, in order to spot fakes, we could have covered a whole load of stuff. We could have looked at some of Elon's SpaceX stuff, moon landings. There are tons of it. But for now, we are going to have to call it a night there. I would like to thank anyone who tunes in tonight. And yeah, just remind you, hope you can make it back Sunday. Have a wonderful Sabbath day. Have a great weekend. Thank you for tuning in. Particularly Tone Dial, Susan and Jokerman for commenting in the chat. Okay. I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Over and out. Good night.
Bye.